My name is Riley Elizabeth Clark. I am 11 years old and my church is Glenview Alliance Church. Last year I was saving up my money for an American Girl doll because everybody else in my class had one. They're a special thing because they could cost hundreds of dollars.
I never knew anything about American Girl dolls until Riley brought home a book about American Girl dolls. Each one is a different period of history. And I think the first one started in the 1800s, so we read about the 1800s. I have to understand with Riley was saving her money for, I would say, a year and a half, and the money was birthday money, Christmas money, and she kept putting it in a little bank, saving it specifically for an American Girl doll. We have what we call Grain of Hope in our church, and it's where we collect money to send to Burkina Faso and to buy grain to feed the people. We had a Sunday morning, the beginning of March, when Pastor Chris, our student ministry leader, shared with the children about the needs of the African children and that they're starving.
I learned that they really didn't have anything to eat, and a lot of them would probably die because they wouldn't have enough food to keep growing. I had saved about $175. And then Grain of Hope came up and they were talking about how $50 could buy a bag of grain. So that night I went home and I thought about it, of how much I would want to give. And then that night I also thought, I want to buy a doll with all this money. But then if I would get the doll, it would kind of remind me of how I could have just fed kids like me.
Well, Riley was getting ready for bed, and it was a Sunday night, and she said to me, Nan, I feel that God's telling me to take my money and to give it to Grain of Hope. So she and I took time out and we prayed and we asked the Lord to give her the leadership that what she should do. And she said, I really need to think about this because I've been saving this money for a long time. And I said, but you listen to what the Lord has for you to do. Riley went to school on Monday and shared with the one teacher, Mrs. Moore, she was going to give her money to Burkina Faso and not buy an American Girl doll. Mrs. Moore went home and told her daughter, and her daughter had an American Girl doll, and when they went into the closet they were going to do some cleaning and this doll fell out at their feet. She took that doll and gathered all the things together that they had for the doll, and the daughter said, give the doll to Riley.
The next day I went to school and there was a bag sitting in the front table, and Miss Moore had brought in the doll for me. When I took off the tissue paper, she was laying there, and next to her was a box of books, all 6 of her stories.
And I looked at Riley and I said, Riley, God answers prayers. He doesn't always answer them this quickly, but He has honored you for what you were willing to do.
I think that other kids should be obedient when God tells them to do something, because God knows what He's doing and He knows the good that'll come out of it.
It would just bless my heart to be able to see other boys and girls follow the voice of the Lord in obedience and to put Him first in their lives. And that's my prayer for Riley.